grateful I didn't trip up the stairs, because I do that.
How does it feel to be out here? Have you been to San Antonio before?
I have. I've been here at this con before too. I guess the last time I was here was maybe 4 or 5 years ago, but I love San Antonio, yeah.
How do you feel about Texas? You like this heat that we have? Are you used to it by now?
Well, I was born on the East Coast. I was born in Maryland and started acting in New York. So, and now I'm in California where there's not much humidity. But yeah, I kind of remember this weather. It's always, you come back to Texas and go, oh yeah, I'm here.
There's a lot.
It was my childhood, man. I love Halloweentown.
There's a lot of projects and things you've done. I actually love everyone's loves here as well. There's more than just one or two. There's several things that have been done.
Oh, hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah.
I'm gonna jump on this. Actually, I reached out to Daniel when I was in mutual connection with him. I said, Daniel, are you coming down here? It's great to see both of you. But first, I'm gonna say congratulations on the wedding.
Thank you.
Happened just recently. They always say, we love Daniel in Halloweentown. And this is something, this is a dream come true like story right there. Everyone loves it.
Yeah, it was, I mean, we hadn't seen each other in a good 12 or 15 years in person since we had done Halloweentown 2, and we'd stayed social media friends, but I hit him up, I guess, about 8 years ago or so to do some sketches for my YouTube channel, and so we shot some stuff with some friends, and then, I don't know, things just started turning romantic, so, and here we are, so we're very happy, and we have really appreciated all the fans' love and like the reaction over the years. It's the sweetest.
We love it, right? That's just an amazing, right there. But I have a question, because I have a personal question, so my fiance is actually in the crowd. And you just had a wedding. What piece of advice would you give us planning a wedding? Because we're in the middle of it. It's been a little hectic, but it's just hard to finalize everything. So you got a piece of advice for people that end up getting married that you went through?
Absolutely. Well, first of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
It's very exciting. It does get hectic. I guess I would say I had an amazing wedding planner, Kaylin at Sarah Judith Events, who was incredible. I wouldn't have been able to do it without her. But I have to say, I think if I could narrow it down, I would say if you have the budget for it, to budget for a photographer and a videographer, I highly recommend it, because like as the bride, you really don't see like much of the ceremony or the cocktail reception. Like you're taking so many photos, you miss a lot. So that's I was so grateful to have that. I haven't gotten the video yet, but like I'm so grateful to have that because I get to actually see everybody and everything.
That's great advice. We needed that. Everyone needs to know what to get into, what they need to know planning a wedding. But obviously, I want to ask about Halloweentown. We got Halloweentown fans in here. Beloved classic. What's your earliest and favorite memory working on that? But actually, what was the audition process like when they brought you in to do that?
I read for it a couple of times. I had to do this scene. I think I was the scene where I'm in the very beginning where I'm convincing Gwen to let me go out trick-or-treating. I think I did that scene, and then I think I did this scene with Dylan where I'm getting dressed and leaving the house right before we go into we find the orange bus and stuff. So it was exciting. I'd go to Disney Channel and audition, and then they wanted me to come back, and then after that, once I got it, we found out Debbie Reynolds was doing it, and that was just, I mean, icing on the proverbial cake.
Great cast, great films. We got a question here from, I think it's Sala, right there, front row. What was your favorite scene in Halloweentown? Any of them, I guess, or maybe you have one from each film?
Let's see, I think there's so many. One of the ones that has always stood out for me was the broom flying scene in the first Halloweentown. It was our last day of shooting, and Debbie and I had not really had any one-on-one scenes together yet. It was all group stuff. We didn't really start doing more just together until Halloweentown 2. So that was our last day of shooting, and I got to spend the whole day with her in front of a big blue screen, and we were up on a really high pedestal kind of thing, a big seat with the broom taped across it. So that way they could kind of send the camera around and tip us side to side and you know, create the flying effect. So Debbie and I hung out up there for hours. She told jokes, stories. It was just one of the best days of my life, but I'll never forget it. But that's one of the ones that always sticks out.
Those are iconic scenes. And another great question, I like this one actually a lot. Anything scary or eerie ever happened on the set of Halloweentown? Or actually any of your other projects? There's a couple other stuff you've done that are pretty pretty
Yeah, I have
cool.
done a little bit in the horror genre. You think a lot of things would have happened on the Stephen King movie, considering we were literally waking the house up. But I honestly I can't think of anything off the top of my head. There was always there was more bloopers I think than scary things. We were having way too much fun, and I think one of the ones that sticks out for me is Debbie one day accidentally, instead of saying the Cromwell clan, she said the Cromwell clowns, and I was like, well, that's a different movie, but we could have rolled with it, but there was
Marnie Piper is a character that a lot of us grew up with. How do you feel about her legacy and impact she's had on viewers?
I'm so incredibly honored. I was 13 when I did the first Halloweentown, and I really related to Marnie as a teenager because I was going through all of the same things as her as a teenager, and I admired her determination and her persistence and her confidence, and I tried to lean into that a little bit, or art imitating life, I guess. But it's been incredible over the years to meet fans and that have just related to Marnie and loved her as much as I do, and it's been really, really special to be able to, share that bond with all of you guys, because you've just given the movie so much love over the years, and that's why we're here still talking about it. So I'm so grateful.
I'm not gonna lie, I watch Halloweentown, at least once a year, twice a year. Whenever I scroll through it, it pulls up as a recommendation. I'm not skipping over, I just push play immediately on that. How much of Marty's personality is similar to your own?
I think we're similar in the, I put a little bit of my sense of humor and my sarcasm in Marty, but the writing, I don't know, I think we were very similar in that way. So do I wish I could draw from the magical side and, fly my broom across LA instead of driving in traffic? Yes, but I just keep trying, and it hasn't worked yet, but I'll keep you guys posted.
You just mentioned Debbie Reynolds, a legendary. She played your grandma. She's a great, great legendary actress. Did she give you any advice on set that kind of sat with you throughout your whole life?
I asked her one day, I just said, I think I said something like, I just so admire how you say how you feel, and you just put it out there. And she was like, honey, I just got to a point where I just didn't give a crap what anybody thought about me anymore.
Yes.
And I heard that at 13, and man, if I could have listened to that a little longer, but that's probably one of the smartest things she ever said, because that is the way she lived her life. She just wanted to have a good time and appreciated all of her fans and wanted to entertain and make everybody as happy as she could, and it was really, really inspiring.
You also have your mom played by Judith Poe, who's amazing.
Yes, she is.
By April O'Neil, that's what I call her.
Yes, of course.
So, any TMNT fans out there?
Woo!
There you go. So,
OG.
any memorable stories about her and just how she was on set, and any advice maybe she gave you as well, because she's a legend herself.
She is. I adore Judith. We've remained friends over the years. She just came to our wedding. I love her so much. She has taught me over the years too, I think, in her own way to not give a crap about what others think about you, because she's such a free spirit and has just been such a positive source of love in my life ever since I was 13. So she's kind of like a second mom to me now, and we have a blast together. We're doing some cons together later this year, and we're going to be goofballs. It's going to be great.
I need to be at those. That looks like a great movie. Did you ever imagine Halloweentown, the Halloween staple that it started filming? When did you realize Halloweentown was something so special and become like traditions and house?
From the second movie. That's what they were talking about up there.
No, we didn't know. People ask me this a lot. We were just supposed to make one Halloweentown for Disney Channel. It was like the second ever Disney Channel original movie. And when Halloweentown came out, I don't even think Disney Channel was like in every household across the US. It was so new. So it was really cool to not only watch the movie grow, but to watch Disney Channel grow too. And you guys and all the fans have been a huge part of that, because you guys showed it so much love when it aired that they they saw the numbers and they saw the love and they greenlit sequels. So we're incredibly grateful to all the fans, and I guess I've kind of slowly seen it over the years, you know, kind of get a cult status and that sort of thing, but I guess a little bit more recently when it really did hit me all over again, I think it was about 8 or 10 years ago when I went back to St. Helens, Oregon, where we filmed the first one, and I went back there for the first time to go say hi, and the town was like overrun, about, at least they said over 15,000 people showed up. And it was incredible. And so that was like the most physical representation of like, wow, I guess some people have seen this movie. This is so cool.
Can you talk about the set and the location of this film? I mean, it was amazing. It looks really cool on screen, and it's somewhere I want to go visit.
Oh, absolutely. It's a lot of what you see in Halloweentown is intrinsic to the town in St. Helens, Oregon. Like our city hall, that is their city hall. It's the quaintest, cutest small town, and they took their natural town square and took a lot of the shops and made them Halloweentown-esque, but the production design on it was so amazing because it was exciting for us to finally walk through Halloweentown for the first time when we got to come and shoot it. And I remember walking around one morning while we were blocking a scene, kind of being like almost starstruck in a sense, just being like, wow, I'm in Halloweentown. Like they did such a good job.
It really should keep it just like it was. That could have been a destination that everyone comes to from around the world.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Question we have from Brandon. What is your favorite Disney Channel original movie?
Ooh, that's a good question. I have to admit, I have not seen them all, so I'm kind of working from a... Color Friendship was always one of my favorites. I adore Shadia Simmons, who I did Quince with. I loved doing Quince too, that was a fun movie. But I think, I know as soon as we move on, the other one will pop into my head, but that's the first one that comes up.
There's a lot of good ones though.
I mean, yes, true.
They're all on Disney Plus, I think. Most of them are. Most of them are on there. Great watches. Alice has a question here. What was your favorite monster in Halloween? Or character? Not monster per se.
I really liked Natalie the Pink Troll. I kind of also wanted to be her, you know, like, could I just play her in a scene real quick? Nobody will know, you know. But I loved her. And just the whole concept in Halloweentown High of like the creatures getting to experience the mortal world and unzip. I loved that storyline because you got to see that no matter where you're from, that some things are relatable no matter if you're a goblin or a human. And but I also liked that big, is his name Chester, I think, the big blue dude in Halloweentown High. Like I always thought he was cute. He was one of the students and he would unzip and yeah.
I'm actually, if I don't remember the name of the cab driver, I really love it.
Benny?
Benny, yeah.
Yes.
Benny
Yes.
is my favorite. Here's a great question from Bella. Would you be open to do another Halloweentown? And what can we do and say out there to revisit Halloweentown? We need an updated version, obviously. And actually, what do you think Marty would be up to as an adult?
I would love to do another one. Totally open to it. And they know that.
Yeah, let's hear it for that. Come on. More of this, come on.
I literally get asked that question every day, and I am so honored that people still want to see more. I would love to go back and play Marnie again, and Disney knows that, and it's if you guys would like to let Disney know that you want to see another Halloweentown, that's like when you said what can we do, like maybe they need to hear more from the fans. But I think Marnie could possibly be running for mayor or be mayor, but like kind of, you know, she was always trying to be forward, like progressive and like, you know, having like the worlds, you know, cohabitate better and move Halloweentown forward and being inclusive and all of those things. And I think she would totally still be in that some sort of leadership position in that way, and then also trying to help, you know, the younger generation of witches.
We need more Halloweentown, right? In any capacity, I'll take a mini-series, a film, an animated version.
Exactly, yeah.
I want to see more of that.
Tons of possibilities.
It's a colorful world. That's what I love about it.
Yes.
My imagination blew up when I watched it, and I love Halloween in general.
Me too.
And it's family-friendly Halloween. That's what I love
Yes.
about it. I love Halloween stuff. Too scary for me.
Yeah, I get it.
What do you think is the most important message or lesson that we learned from Halloweentown?
I think it comes down to Aggie's famous line that being normal is vastly overrated. I don't think the goal should be to be normal. What is normal? I think we should embrace our uniqueness and our quirks and all of our specialness and the things that we love. And like when people embrace who they are and what they love, it's what makes our world a more diverse, rich place. And I loved that was overall like the themes that we tried to show, throughout the movies.
Do you have a favorite part of Marnie's journey throughout the films? Her character
Good
development?
question. I have to say I loved climbing the pumpkin. Like I grew up a little bit of a tomboy, climbing trees. I love, sports, all that. So like I'm an actor who always wants to like try to do my own stunts and stuff. So I was so excited when they let me, take one step up on the pumpkin, but like hold on to it, and I don't know, I loved getting, shot in the back with the magic. Like that was just, it was fun 13-year-old action stuff. That's the biggest kind of action star I'll ever be. So I'll take it.
Very dangerous scene.
It's please, yeah. It's highly skilled,
Did you take anything from the sets of the films that you have with you that you probably share with us and not get in trouble?
I do. I have the Halloweentown book because the producers were nice enough to give us one at the end of filming, and I had a bunch of cast and crew members sign it, so it's kind of like a little yearbook now. I have the bat from the first one, Calamar's assistant that pops up out of his coffin. He's like, "There's someone here to see you, boss." Disney gave me that. And I have Marnie's purple cloak and purple hat from the second one. And I had the broom that she carried around in her pocket that she would make bigger. I have the one that they call it, the one that wasn't the hero, the one that we did use on camera that was kind of, the painted little stand-in. I have that little broom. But yeah, those are some of the things that have like been my favorite props to hold on to.
Do you bring them out for Halloween? Like, what are your Halloween traditions for your family?
I don't bring them out as much. I used to. Debbie Reynolds actually gave me the idea. I think it was in between. It was after the second Halloweentown. She told me that she used to answer the door to trick-or-treaters in her Aggie cloak. So I started doing that at Halloween too in my Marnie cloak, and it was so fun to surprise people who would come to the door to trick or treat. Got a little out of hand though. We had to kind of pull it back after a little bit because people started showing up other times of the year and knocking on the door and asking if Marnie was home. But it was so much fun, and that was like, that was something that she inspired me to do, and it was we had a blast.
Do you have a favorite like Halloween costume you go to like every year that you change up, or a certain type of genre of costumes you go through that you like doing? Or is it your childhood? Like, what were some of the costumes you had as a child?
I loved making, or having some part in making my costumes when I was young. I was a witch early on, so clearly was a little fortuitous there. I think I was a princess, and I made a big, cone hat with like aluminum foil and ribbons coming out of it. But then I got into like wanting, I like suspenseful, scary movies. So I started to, as I got older, trying to do some of the makeup, and it would never, it was like, okay, good job. But I got into that a little bit. Like I would be a zombie farmer, and I would just, kind of be a character that I could dress with just everyday clothing, but then I could really focus on the makeup.
You are a fan of Halloween since you were a kid, for sure.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
You mentioned Disney Channel or movies and projects. Quits, what a unique project that was. That's what I've heard. Y'all, any Quits fans in here?
I loved that one too, because that was, back then they didn't do as much, they call it breaking the fourth wall in the business, where you talk to the camera. It wasn't as common back then as it is now. So that was so exciting for me. And I love babies. We had different groups of them on set, and actually my real brother, whose name also happens to be Dylan, pure coincidence, he was about 6 months old at the time, and he ended up playing, I think, Eddie in the older group of babies, because he was hanging out and he was so good on set. They were like, hey, could he be in this scene? So that's a fun little thing that we get to have a little like personal connection on now too.
What's the most challenging part of playing a character it has to deal with all those babies?
Gosh, it wasn't honestly challenging. It was, actually, well, the one interesting scene to shoot, I should say, was the scene where Jamie grows arms and picks the babies up out of the bassinet, like in her little fantasy sequence. And that was the only time I was a little nervous because I had to pick a baby up one-handed. And I had had some experience. I have 3 younger brothers, so I wasn't as nervous. But that was the only kind of nerve-wracking part. I remember that scene specifically, and it went fun. But yeah.
Was the set chaotic though with having babies? They all were pretty sleeping most of the time?
Well, they would kind of bring them on set in waves. Babies are only, I don't know what the rule is now, but at the time I think they could only be on set for like 15 minutes and that was it. So you would rehearse all the way up until you're ready to shoot with dolls. And then they would be like, okay, bring them in. And then they'd rush them in and then you'd do a couple of takes and then they'd have to take them out again. So it was never, there were never like lots of babies on set at the same time.
That's one of my favorite Disney Channel films. A lot of great ones there, but you were actually in a sequel film, one of my favorite films. My parents rented a Blockbuster and all of a sudden I got a sequel. Be Cool.
Oh,
Be Cool, which is, a lot of people don't know, it's the sequel that gets Shorty. Which I don't think anyone still knows the day that they're connected. Had a crazy cast, great cast.
Oh, yeah.
What was it like to be part of such a big ensemble of Be Cool?
It was such an honor. I mean, I had to pinch myself when I would see these, amazing people that were signing on. John Travolta and Uma Thurman couldn't have been the nicest. I still am not sure if they would fully recognize me out of my Tiffany garb today because I was in like a black short wig and I had tattoos and like piercings. I was a total punk rocker, kind of goth girl. And I met John and Uma on set as Tiffany in my wardrobe, so they were always a little confused. And there was one day where we had shot all day, and then I went back to base camp and I changed. I got my wig off and everything, and I came back to set because I left a book. And John was coming back to set, and he walked right past me and was like, hello, and just kept walking. And I was like, that is so funny. He doesn't realize, even the wig and the makeup would confuse people even on set. It was awesome.
Were you familiar with Get Shorty before getting that?
Oh yeah. And I had watched it again before I auditioned for people because you wanted to have that. I just wanted to watch Chili Palmer again and kind of get in that, that feel.
It's a great film. If y'all haven't seen Be Cool, I highly recommend it. Also, Get Shorty, where it comes from.
Yeah.
It's really clever and really a world of entertainment, from film to music. It's fabulous.
Truly, yeah. Thank you.
Another awesome film is Bringing Down the House.
Thank you.
Any fans of Bringing Down the House here? Big hit, amazing cast. What was it like working with Steve Martin and Queen Latifah, the Queen herself?
Queen is amazing, and so is Steve Martin. That was another set that I just kept having. When I found out I got it, I ran around my backyard 10 times. I was so excited. Been such a huge fan of Steve Martin's forever. How can you not? It's just the best. But everybody, once I had signed on, then we would, then we found out oh, Joan Plowright signed on, and Betty White's gonna be your neighbor, and Jean Smart's gonna play your mom, and it was just these are all such amazing people, and every last person could not have been nicer. It was just the best set to work on. Everybody just came to work every day wanting to laugh and have a good time, and I think it's reflected in the movie because it genuinely made me laugh. So I was like, okay, cool. But it's one of my faves.
What do you love most about starring in a comedy?
Comedy's fun because it just, I don't know, you get to kind of live outside of your body a little bit in the sense that sometimes you get to try different things a little freer in comedy than you do drama, I guess. But and then a lot of times you're just bouncing off the other person. So when you're on a set with Steve Martin and Queen Latifah, you just stand there and smile and you look good. So it was awesome.
I love that film so much. I got to revisit it again. It's been a while, but I remember watching that in theaters, and it's just a joy. I think my whole family, we all went on a Friday night to catch it, and those are great memories right there.
Thank you.
Any Rose Red fans in here? No, that's great. I like revisiting this one. This one is one of my favorites. I was probably too young to watch this at the same time. But question here, If they were to remake or continue Rose Red, would that be a project you'd like to take part in? And that's from Hillary and Abby.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think that was one of the more unique miniseries I've ever done. Like I got to play an autistic telekinetic psychic. Like how, those aren't the roles that come along every day. But that was, definitely a little scarier than Halloweentown. But we filmed that for about 5 months up in Washington State. And just, again, another amazing cast. And Mr. King could not have, been the nicest gentleman in the world.
It was a thrilling miniseries. Like, that was the thing to watch when it came out. How did you prepare for the eerie and intense atmosphere of the show? It's definitely very, very eerie.
Absolutely, and definitely being on set definitely added to the overall eerie vibe. A lot of, I think the majority of the inside of the Rose Red House, the bigger rooms were sets, like the big foyer and the stairs and some of the big rooms. And then we filmed at a place called Thornwood Castle in Tacoma for some of that exterior stuff. So that was a little darker at night outside, but thankfully, it didn't get too eerie while we were filming it, because it was, they kept it all kind of, we would do something dark and then, then they'd say cut and then somebody would crack a joke. So, it's all about balance.
Great show. Somehow continue it, we all for it. Anything we can continue that you're in it, we're here for it.
Oh, thank you.
I want to go back to basics here a little bit. What inspired you to get into acting, and that's from Cece?
I have been acting since I was about 5 or 6. I was always playing dress up as a kid. I had several imaginary friends, and I loved, we have some home videos where I'm, in a mirror, probably playing some kind of character. So my parents put me in a performing arts kind of class to kind of have an avenue to get it all out. And I think the story goes that some scouts from New York came down and kind of watched the class, and it said, if she ever wanted to try it professionally, we would think she would be good for it. So we ended up driving back and forth to New York when I started acting. And I started on Broadway when I was 7, and Broadway again at 8, and then a soap opera at 9, I think, and it just, I've never looked back. I fell head over heels in love with it. I've never been able to do anything else.
Soap opera world. I honestly watch a lot of soap operas because my mom would have it on while she's making me snack. What do you love about that world?
I love the material. I love, it was a great training ground for me because you can shoot sometimes up to 2 or multiple episodes a day. So you can have pages and pages of dialogue. So that was great for me as a young performer to kind of work that muscle and learn how to memorize a lot of stuff very quickly. But it was also fun because you would never get to play other storylines where you thought your mom was dead, but it turns out she had amnesia and was living in an Amish country. And she happens to come back to town the day that your dad is, on your dad's wedding day to his new wife. So it's, great complex storylines to really sink your teeth into.
Yes, soap operas are my guilty pleasure.
I understand, they're great, yeah.
What are some of the favorite shows and movies you grew up loving? Remember some of your earliest memories when you started acting at such a young age? Where you just were like, that's me, or I want to be in that type of film. I know Disney stuff I grew up on.
Oh, totally. I watched TGIF religiously. The Sabrina the Teenage Witch and some of those, Step by Step, those classic shows, Full House. Come on. Those were my jam. I was always watching, Saturday morning cartoons. Got heavily into Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Power Rangers because of younger brothers. So
see, look,
that
nerd sitting right next to me as the mayor in trouble. I love this. My childhood,
and
my parents.
the Pink Ranger was Kimberly. Come on, how could you not? Thank you. So it was like a little bit of that world, and it was kind of been an eclectic mix over the years.
I miss those TGIF days.
Yes.
What was it? 2 Guys, a Girl, and Pizza Place?
Yeah, that's right.
Ryan Reynolds and Nathan Fillion.
Yes.
Has anyone watched that? 2 Guys, a Girl, and Pizza Place? Well, that's a great one. I'm hoping there's some pizza things about that.
I know.
Another great question here. Who are some of the most influential people in your life?
How much? Well, I mean, my husband Daniel's probably one of the most influential. But I'm really close with my family. I have an older sister and 3 younger brothers, and they have certainly helped shape who I am, and certainly my friends. You know, I'm very blessed to have really great people around me who have just kept loving me over the years. So you can't really ask for much more than that.
You got a great support system.
Yes, absolutely.
No, I love that. A question here: if you could choose to star with anyone that you've never worked with before, who's on that list of want to act with in the future?
Wow, that's a list of lots of people.
Well, you've worked with so many great people too, so I'm sure a lot of them scratched off already.
Kate Blanchett is the first person that pops into mind. I had to not fangirl too hard over Tatiana Maslany earlier when I said hi to her in the green room. I think she's so talented and she's so sweet. I'm trying to think of those are the first 2 people that pop into my head, and there's a giant brain fart. So yeah.
Is there a dream role for you out there that you haven't tackled yet?
I've always wanted to play like a detective or a lawyer. I haven't quite done it yet in anything you guys have been able to see, and I've gotten very close in certain roles like that. But I think I've always loved law, so I think, but there's no way I could be an attorney. I admire the heck out of them. So I think it's like a secret, or not so secret now because I'm telling all of you. It's, you know, like a dream of mine to like live out I could be a lawyer fantasy on like a TV show or something. So I'm, you know, still crossing my fingers.
That's the way to do it. My sister's an attorney. I went to school for political science, but I'm trying to follow her footsteps. Look where I am now.
That's amazing though. Political science was like, that was hard for me in college.
That was the easiest thing for me. I couldn't do math or science.
Oh, okay. See,
I suck at
different
math.
brains. Yeah,
I can think of
that's
math
awesome.
and history. I love
Yeah.
that. Last, I'm going to ask this. What do you love most about being at these conventions? You're traveling around, meeting all your fans. What does it mean to you to be here?
Oh, it means everything. This is, you guys are the reason that we're still here and still talking about the movies. Like I said, we just thought we were going to do one many years ago, and it has completely blown our minds that last year we celebrated the 25th anniversary of the first Halloweentown. And yes, so you guys have loved it so much for 25 years that we are so honored that we still get to share in the story with you. And I meet families and people that have passed the movie down to different generations, and it's become a part of their family traditions. And it's just such an honor to be a part of people's lives like that. And coming to do cons like this is such a joy because I get to meet all of you and say hi and just hopefully give you back a little of the love that you've so graciously shown us over the past chunk of years. So yeah, so big thank you to you guys too.
Well done. And we're here to get another Halloweentown trending starting today. You want to be the mayor of Halloweentown, so maybe hashtag vote Halloweentown.
Yeah, there you go.
There we go right there. But thank you so much, Kimberly J. Brown. Lovely to have you here.
Thank you.
Very excited to have you back.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Thank you guys.
Thanks for coming.